right, my food mood friends, welcome back. Chandra Zas, Zen Odyssey. Gut health, made doable without missing out. It's possible. It's totally possible. Today, I want to dive into the topic of this belief that I see happen over and over, that I've seen my whole life, in believing that health and investing in our health is a luxury. I hear this all the time. I've heard this from my family growing up when I became determined to invest in my health and how much was I spending on what. And I see it also in people that I talk to who are suffering with their gut symptoms, and yet they don't see the necessity in investing in their gut health. So what I find really interesting is the thoughts and essentially the beliefs behind the inaction of taking care of your gut health, of stepping up, of investing. So let's just name it. Change is hard. Making food changes is hard. I was just thinking about this last night, how I really love, I sought out becoming a burner because I thought burners seemed really cool. And then I saw the same thing with climbers. I was like, ooh, these climber people seem really cool. So I started figuring out if I wanted to be a climber. And what I really found was that like both climbers and burners, they're really into doing hard things, like openly facing challenge and hard things. And I kind of like have come to a place of realizing that like making food changes is probably the first hard thing that I did. I would say making food changes, breaking the norms, doing different things, eating different foods was really hard. Feeling my negative emotions, equally, if not more hard. And these are the two things that I require of my clients when they go through my program to make gut health changes. But what I see stop people from investing in their gut health, from showing up and being willing to go through the hard moments and make the hard changes and learn new food vocabulary, think about food differently, deal with negative emotions differently. What stops people from even getting to this point is that gut health is a luxury, or investing in health is a luxury. And I personally am so convicted of the opposite belief, probably a lot because I was born without my health. I was born at 2 years old, I was covered in rashes and had eczema and asthma and medications, and it was not fun. My childhood was rough. So I knew what it was like to not have my health. And when I had my first taste of feeling healthy, I was like, give me more. I will do whatever. What I see that happens the opposite is that a lot of people, they're somewhat or relatively healthy without too many problems. And then at some point, there's this like accumulation of symptoms. There's this accumulation of things starting to go off. Maybe people start gaining weight. Maybe their hormones get imbalanced. Maybe they start having gut pains. Maybe they get to the farther down the road where they start having actually like diagnoses and medications. There's all this spectrum of gut health problems. What a lot of people miss is that gut health is an accumulation of choices. It's an accumulation that starts in our childhood, that starts from the bacteria and the microbiome, how our own personal microbiome was created when we were kids and what we were exposed to, and then also what kind of antibiotics and sanitization and lack of friendly bacteria. So all of this gut health happens from the very, very beginning. And then we have this accumulation of habits and choices and ways of eating and times that we eat and reasons that we eat, and maybe even environmental toxins that we're exposed to that our body can't digest, and so it starts to store. And then at some point, oftentimes when people come to me, they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I am in this really hard spot. And yet still people struggle with taking action to making changes. And I want to offer, if this is you, if this is where you're at, where you're kind of like, I have these gut problems, I have pain, I have stinky farts, I have maybe I have a diagnosis, I have brain fog, I have low energy. There's a lot of symptoms associated with poor gut health. Hormone imbalance, sleep problems. Did I already say bloating? So what I want to offer you is that gut health matters. For me, gut health is the baseline foundation, the most important thing that I invest in every single day. And I've been investing in it for a couple decades. And what I am experiencing now is an accumulation of gut health. So a lot of times people ask me, they're like, well, how long will it take for my gut to heal? And the answer really varies. It depends on how long you've been, how far down your symptoms are. Are they minor symptoms like bloating and maybe you're a little bit overweight and maybe you have a little brain fog? Those would be like the more mild symptoms. Or do you have like a diagnosis with some bleeding and medications? Like, where are you on the spectrum? Depending on where you're on this spectrum is going to depend on how long it's going to take your gut to heal. Our gut can heal if it's given the right foods and given the right taking the pressure off of our gut. Like, a lot of it is like taking it really easy and supporting our gut to do its job and to function and maintain and heal itself. If we allow it to do that, it will do it. Now, the gut lining can take some months, and in some extreme cases can take even longer, but our guts can heal if we set our habits up to support our gut healing itself and getting into balance and getting into a place where it's really solid. So, what I want to plant in your brain is first the awareness. What do you think about your gut health? Do you think it's important? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's a luxury? Or what do you think about it? Because that little thought right there is going to determine whether or not you stay on the same path that you're on, that you continue down the trajectory, that you continue accumulating and continue building up the effects of your lifestyle and your eating habits and your emotional habits and your stress levels. Or do you think it's something, the way that I think about it, the best gift that I can give my future self is taking care of my health. At the end of the day, what we have is our health. We have our body, we have our brain, we have our mind, we have our gut, we have our hormones, we have our happy hormones, we have hormone balance. When we don't have those things, which I've lived in that reality, life is not very fun and it's not very easy. I know that making food changes is one of the hardest things to do. It is a mountain to climb. And it is the most important thing that we each can do for ourself, for our future self, for our self tomorrow, for our self next week, for our self 20 years from now. I want to be one of those rocking old people who is graceful and agile and with it and able-bodied. That's my goal. So depending on what you think about your health, is it a luxury or is it a necessity? Is investing in your gut health the most important thing that you can do for yourself? A lot of people think that self-care and investing in their health is selfish or, like I've already said, luxurious. And I couldn't disagree more. I really think that creating a healthy gut that feeds a able body and provides nutrients and clarity to a productive problem-solving brain, like, that is my quality of life. Like, without that, I can't create my business. Without that, I have a slow sex drive and I don't really want to engage with my partner. I've been there. I know what it's like to not have a sex drive because my gut health was so off and my energy levels were so low and all I wanted to do was sleep and I was depressed. I've been there. I've been half alive. And I have found that the best thing that I can do for my well-being, my happiness, my ability to show up is to take care of my gut health, is to eat foods that fuel me, to drink water, to exercise, to limit the processed stuff that supports big businesses and doesn't support my body. So I question you, I offer you to question yourself and think about what is important to you. Is it important to invest in your future and set yourself up? Or is it important to keep your head in the sand and pretend like it's all going to be okay, that a magic pill is going to save you, that some magic wand will come along and just magically be better? What do you think? Think about it. Really, really think about it. And yeah, make a decision from that place, from a deliberate, conscious place. Does my health matter? Does my future self's health matter? And the baseline of investing in our future self, investing in our gut health, are the foods that we put in our mouth every day, multiple times a day. That is the baseline of gut health. What are you putting in your mouth, and why are you putting it in your mouth? Are you putting it in your mouth to take care of yourself and to feed your body? Or are you putting it in your mouth to feel better, to comfort yourself, to distract yourself from an emotion? I really encourage you to put food in your mouth to nourish your body and manage all the rest and face all the rest. Have a beautiful week. I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're ready for some gut health help, I'm here. I would love to hear from you. Thank you.